Thursday, everyone. Tom Grisafi, Advanced Trading, ATI Pro Media, coming to you live from the Ag Bowl Studios here in Mayville, North Dakota. I just want to do a quick check of my audio because sometimes I mess that up. But things look good and all systems are go. Well, thanks for joining. How are you watching us? Are you watching us on YouTube? Are you watching us on X? We got some exciting things happening here today. Spent the last few days at Big Iron in Fargo. We have a show built for you today, but we don't know what's going to happen, nor does anyone else. Don't let them fool you, folks. If someone knew what this USDA was going to say, they wouldn't be your broker. They'd be your rich friend who would be in trouble for insider trading because he had the numbers early. Does anyone get the numbers early? I don't know. But what I do know is the numbers will be released supposedly at 11. Now, a few USDA reports ago, they came out late. Let's hope that doesn't happen because we weren't ready for that, nor are you. But the first people get the first lick at the numbers will be the high frequency traders. Whispers are that maybe, just maybe, yields might be toned down a little bit. We're actually hearing things may not be quite as good as one might have thought, but they're still pretty good. Let's go to LaSalle Street real quick. We'll get you an update on markets. We'll bring in Brady and Connor. I may pop out. There's one piece of software I need to open, but let's look at the markets real quick. These corn unchanged up a quarter. Call it 405 even. No beans 1008 up 8 cents. Nice to see Jan beans 1026. You can see that carry out there. Meal up 20. Soybean oil up 47. Wheat. Board of Trade wheat up 5. Casey up 2. Minneapolis, little creeper there, up 6, 622. Like to see Mini get through that 630, 635 level. Live cattle up 85. Feeders up 120. Hogs a little lower. Ring the bell. Breaking news. Gold, Wall Street. It is breaking news. Gold all-time highs. 25.80 there in the Dees contract, up 38. Silver up $1, approaching the $30 level. 2s, 5s, 10s, 30s, interest rates all lower. Crude oil up $2. Remember the past ATI Pro Media lives where we said, call the fuel guy or gal, call the fuel guy, lock in that fuel. We thought around 68, 67, it was portable. Crude actually crept down to 65, 69.45, last up 215, 2 back-to-back monster days for crude. Get the storage, natural gas, propane, all those yummies to dry that corn up 78 cents, 23.50. We did spend a little time with the 19 handle. Dow down 40, NASDAQ unchanged, S&P down 1. Connor, Brady, take over. I'm going to open one more piece of software. I'll still be here. I'm just going to be a little lower. Take the wheel.
Get set up. We'll break down some numbers here in the next 10 minutes. Keep in mind, Brady, I got my phone ready. Last time we did this, I was about 2 minutes off. It's not going to happen this time.
Why don't you adjust that clock a little bit there, Connor? Yeah, get her dialed in. But who knows? Maybe you got the USDA clock today. We'll see if they actually bring the numbers out at the right time.
Right. We'll see how they do if they can keep that 11 o'clock time frame. Right. To the June WASD, what were they 20 minutes behind?
It took a while. They just kept trickling out. And then, do you believe the numbers when they're coming out? Because the Twitter sphere kind of blowed up. Maybe there were some fake numbers floating around. Who knows? But always
we'll see.
Yep.
Well, let's pop in some estimates and see what we're working with. We did a nice premium yesterday where we had Brian Basting. He gave us some color of numbers he's looking at. And so the focus is going to be, Tommy mentioned it, what are they going to say for yield, right? Corn bean yield, both were at records. Right now, odds are we're going to keep a record. It's just, is this a fantastic crop, corn crop, bean crop, or is it a really good one? Time will tell. The ending, one thing I'll pay attention to that I want to hear your color, Brady, is ending stocks. Brian Basting pointed this out to us. Looking at soybeans, if you can see that analyst estimate range, that is a massive range on ending stocks, 443 to 670, right? I don't know if a couple analysts are just way outside and they just phoned this one in a big range, but huge variance, right? If we go outside the range on soybean ending stocks, I will be shocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a huge range. Absolutely. Yeah, sometimes you get, you throw your number out there and, if you're wrong, people forget it. But if you're right, you can say, boy, I nailed it. I had them trimming stocks, 100, 120 million bushels and we got it right. But if you're wrong, they forget and they move on very, very quickly. But we'll see, what gets printed. I'm watching, global stuff as well. There's so much focus on what are they going to do with the U.S. crop, the yield. Is it it matters. Those numbers do matter. But will they change anything with the Russia, Ukraine
Yes.
wheat or corn crops? Will they do anything with South America? Those adjustments. We had the CONAB out this morning. You guys talked about that in the live show. So what global adjustments will they make to some of those numbers? And you never know. That curveball that the USDA throws out there, something nobody's expecting from left field. How does that impact these markets? But when you look at the markets, there's been a lot of bad news priced in. I think everybody's kind of rooting for a bounce, hoping for a bounce. Will that bounce be met with some heavy selling pressure? We talked about target orders this morning at night on the 9 a.m. show. You guys did a good job with that stuff. But we'll see what gets printed and how the trade reacts, and might present some opportunities to get some stuff done if you're a farmer.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, CONAB was out this morning. They didn't change. They barely changed a single number, almost completely in line with what they printed for August. But we still got that discrepancy between what the USDA says Brazil has for corn and what CONAB says Brazil has for corn and soybeans. We'll see if that gap changes. Here, I got these handy for you, Brady.
Okay.
I always love looking at these. This is just the historical price action on the day for the September WASDE. And so, as you can see, right,
the report release. What
yes,
does corn futures change on the report day? Okay.
and you can see last year a little bit negative. We had a good run of up prices, but it's on both sides of the coin. Soybeans on the other side. We had to ask Brian, was that a typo for 2022? Because my gosh, Brady, I do not remember us being up 76 cents, but there it is. So big run up last year, or 2022, I'm sorry, on the soybean crop.
Yep, big change there. That's a chart buster data print there. That makes your chart look weird and funny whenever you have a number like that goes in there. Just stands out on your graphic there. But yeah, big move, and who knows, maybe I'd love to see a 76-cent higher trade today on soybeans. That'd be fantastic. I think farmers would love it too.
I'll take that all day, but time will tell, right? We'll see. Is this has the August weather been good enough to still have that record soybean crop, right? We've had some significant dryness, June, July across the Corn Belt. Fantastic, right? Precipitation, temperatures were really great. August, not so much. Did this bean crop finish well enough? And I guess the corn crop too, we can lump it in there as well to print a big, right? Not even a record, 6 bushel on corn above what the previous record was. Was the weather indicative of that? Can we see that hold? Time will tell here. How far are we out, Brady?
I'm showing 1054. I need to call ATI Research and get them in my ear here as we gear up for report. So I'm going to dial up Ben Eicher here and get him in my ear to blast out some numbers. But
yeah,
while you 5 minutes.
Yeah, you get set up. If you're watching, you got any questions, comments, drop it. We love debating them. We'll make sure to talk about them. We're going to break down the numbers, give you the quick hits, and then later, make sure to tune in. We're going to have Advanced Trading's research department, and I believe Michael Reginelli from the commercial department is going to do a deep dive in the numbers, right? They always really get into the weeds, look at the changes, a little bit more fleshed out than we can do when we give you the quick hits. Make sure to tune in that on Advanced Trading's YouTube channel. But yeah, so Tommy G, what do you know?
Just sending clients text and emails and getting ready. I would love the opportunity to sell some beans there is a chance technically that if we get above that prior price action, looking at soybeans, say around above that 1030, there could be some explosive price action. We are currently trading 1008. Funds are short. We know the funds position, just like the world knows the farmer's position. We know the funds position, and maybe it's time for the farmer to catch a little luck here. But if you catch the luck, it's because Mother Nature didn't give you that finishing weather we need. It's not because the potential wasn't there. Just looking at the markets real quick before we get going, it is 1056. Corn's up 3/4. Light volume today so far. Actually, decent volume. I apologize. And the corn, 100,000 already traded in decent. I don't know if it's in spreads, whatnot, but no, beans up 8. Cattle are healthy. Gold's really healthy. I was surprised, and I talked about it at the panel I was on, when crude oil went down to 65. corn didn't get ugly or sloppy. It held its own. And that's impressive. When you're taking 1/3 of the corn crop and turning it into fuel, and it could watch crude go from 80 to 65, it's like, no, we're okay. We're worth $4. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
a lot of interesting things are happening here. What
And the
would you like
next,
to see for the report? Would you like a chart? Would you like quotes? Are we just going to talk about it freehand? What do you think people want? What do you tell me, Connor?
if we see charts later, if we see a dramatic number, let's get the charts up immediately. Though, I just want to see what the price is and if we could quote that. That's my opinion, Tommy.
Want me to verbally quote it, or would you like me to physically pop it up? I could do anything, but boy, am I working on limited space down here.
We can just talk through it. If you've
Sounds
got it
good.
handy to pop up, we can pop it up
Yeah.
as well.
Hey, if you're out there, folks, we'd love to send you a flag. Matter of fact, my laptop's on 2 flags right now. My other monitor's on 2 flags. I got a box of 30 flags down here in the Ag Bull Studios, and these flags were bought by Advanced Trading. We'd love to send you an American flag for all those Patriots, especially coming off of September 11th. If you're out there and you don't know who we are, what we're doing, well, I'll tell you a little bit. We got a little ad here, and we'll run that real quick. We'll run the ATI Pro Media $1 a day, $30 a month. Let's run that ATI Pro Media. Jojo or Rick, pop that up. We're going to have a live showing of welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. Look at that. Click. Hey, full disclosure, I'm going in the report 100% flat. I have nothing on for my own personal trading account. You, the viewer, the watcher, the listener, you have a position on. Maybe you're an ethanol company. You're caught short. Maybe you're a farmer. You're caught long. You're caught long multiple years. Talked to someone from one of the farm credit agencies out of here in Fargo, and they'd said that farmers had put corn on their balance sheet and they priced it at $5.50. That's what they put on their balance sheet. A lot of that corn was sold for $3.50. We don't want that to happen to you again next year. Looking at corn for next year, just keeping it.
Yeah, real quick, Tommy. We're about a minute out. I want to make sure Brady give us the thumbs up. Okay, he's ready to quote. Go ahead, Tommy.
Yeah, D's 25 corn, 445. D's 26. Let's just quote them up all the way and back, so we don't get too excited. 450. D's 27. It doesn't trade a whole lot of one lot, 445. So what Tommy G is going to tell you is right now corn's $4 in the front. You hold it for multiple years, you get 450. Not a lot of we have carry in the front, and we could talk about that more after the show. Folks, if you're out there, questions, comments, anything else, we're going to have these numbers here shortly. I'm going to look for the initial reaction. Brady and I, Connor and I, will talk our way through it. Brady is the eye in the sky getting those numbers to us. I would love for a surprise. I would love for a surprise. I also have the numbers here, but so much happens so quick it's hard to digest.
Yep, that's we've done this before. If you hear the numbers, and no matter if I'm talking to whoever, yell them out, and then we'll start digesting from there. So 11 o'clock.
We're straight up. I got Ben in my ear here with ATI research. I'll rattle off
price actions lower to start. Corn down 1, down 2, down 3. New lows. Corn. Beans lost everything, unchanged in beans. Corn looking to have a bearish number by the price action.
Yep.
D's corn down 5.
183.6 yield on corn, up a half.
Oh, they raised the yield on us.
Carry out in corn 2.057. Carry out in wheat 0.828. Carry out in soybeans 0.550. What do you think of those numbers, boys? Initial reaction is lower. Do we buy the dip? Well, remember I said I had nothing going on to this report? That's changed. Tommy G's long some corn. I want to be just like you, buying corn here for myself. But
a little bit, the soybean number, a little bit under what the analysts thought, right? They were at a 5.6. We're at a 5.5. Not completely, I mean, pretty close to in line. Corn yield going up, right? The trade's not going to like that, but it went up a half bushel. I guess the old adage, big crops get bigger, is going to ring true today. And then what do you say? 2.57 corn carry out, a little bit bigger there as well. So right now, initial reaction looks like a slightly bearish report. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but a little bit bigger carry out. Waiting on the bean yield number. Do we have that one, Brady? Oh, he's muted.
I have I have September beans 53.2 bushels per acre, 53.2. What did we have going into it? What was that range you said was wide, correct?
53.2. That was the exactly what they had for August.
Oh
Complete.
yeah,
Didn't change.
expected
Didn't adjust at all.
53.3. Hey, follow up. Dees corn's down 7. Definitely a bearish corn number. Couple quick things. I told you I'll go into to the big farm show here that things are okay. I don't know if we'll have state by state maps. I should know that, and I think we will. I am interested to see what did the USDA do with the state of Ohio. We definitely have problems, but one thing. I was extremely defensive lately on, hey guys, we got to get protected. Harvest is going to happen. People I respect so much in the industry, Arlen Suderman, we are going to have an intense harvest. If he knows it, I know it. ATI knows it, you know it. This is what happens. Corn down 8. We're going to see some old crop bushels still hit the market, and those are at this point almost becoming birthday bushels. Now, impressive enough is beans are holding in there. They're up 3.5. Does anyone have a real good idea why did the corn market? Remember last night I said corn's up 4.5, and that has nothing to do with what's going to happen today. What do you think changed, guys, from corn up 4 to it down 8? Now I'll pull off my quotes and we'll just talk about the markets.
Sure. Yeah. Just looking up 4, right? I mean, a lot of it's going to be position squaring, right? I think there was probably talk of whether or not having a good finish to this crop. Maybe we saw it. Right now, the USDA isn't confirming that. They raised yield ever so slightly, but they still raised it. And then production up as well again. So I think the hope is that we were going to confirm maybe a little bit lower production, right? And so that's what we're seeing. Well, that's not the case, right? Yield is now we've got a new record yield, right? We went from that 183.1 to 183.6. That's the new measuring stick. That's the high yield, and we're going to go from there. Interesting. I'm looking at the numbers right now.
Mhm.
We talked CONAB numbers. They didn't change a single number. USDA for Brazil per corn soybean production didn't change a single number from what I can see. So that gap remains, the difference between CONAB and the USDA, but completely unchanged Brazil numbers. I haven't seen Ukraine or Russia. Brady, you mentioned that. Kind of an offshoot, but it'd be interesting to see if we change that in any way.
Yeah, Ben told me that Ukraine increased their wheat production number, but I'm still kind of digging through that type of stuff. But so we did see a little higher Ukraine number. And the world ending stocks on wheat, the guess was 255, and they printed a 257. That actually went up on world ending stocks.
One thing I noticed, guys, when I watch TV, in particular RFD TV, and my friend Scott the Cow Guy, anytime the markets are down, his voice changes, and I'm not the least bit upset. I mean, this is great price action. Beans are up 4. Corn was just down 7. It's bouncing. We know your position. We know the fund's position. But if these beans take out the high here, they're trading 10.05. They get above 10.10. We digested that number. I don't think corn stays down here and just watches beans go up to 10.10, 10.15 and says, "Now we're going to be 3.97." If you're an end user, this was probably a great dip to buy, get that corn priced. And don't forget, we have funds adjusting positions on a regular basis. We still have some weather things that are happening in South America. Did yesterday in yesterday's premium, what was your big takeaway from Brian Basting? Talk about that real quick.
Sure. Looks like Brady, you're muted. But the big takeaway, right? Brian, he really wanted to break down he wanted to look at the report, and what was believe what his saying was, I'm going to look at that ending stocks number. That's bringing everything together, and it's going to show us production, acreage, yield. And so looking at that, he was really shocked at how big the analyst estimates were on soybeans. Turns out they didn't need that big range. They came pretty much in line. But that was interesting to see, I think. Did I miss anything there, Brady?
No, yeah. Volatile type reaction is always a possibility in this report. And yeah, the bean number being a potential for a big wide range, which we stayed within, right? So, yeah.
And we should point out, I've talked ahead, they haven't changed yield and they raised corn yield slightly. Looking at that soybean 24-25 ending stocks number, they did reduce that slightly, right? It looks like it's 10 million bushel, if I'm looking at that right, 560 down to 550. So, not overly, you could say, I called it a bearish report, but, looking at the soybean front, they did reduce production ending stocks slightly.
Yeah.
Brady, you want to talk cattle real quick? Well, let's grab this question, but I do want you to add some color on cattle and LRP because we do that. And there's still some tremendous risk with cattle. We've had a heck of a bounce here, but we have big volatility happening in
I
the
like
stock
this
market.
comment. Grow the farm up. My local market manager actually told me the market is going to go up, then go down, then go back up, and possibly stay the same. I thought to myself, am I paying for this advice? That's a good comment. But,
Oh, grow the farm up.
to his defense, nobody knows. At least he told you he didn't know where the market was going to go.
And that's
So,
true. I was going to say sometimes free is too expensive. Oh my
mhm.
God, we have someone on from India. That's wonderful. Ring the bell. I don't have my normal mixer with me where I ring the bell and play DJ, but that's awesome. Thanks for joining. Who else is out there? Where are you from? How do yields look? This show, we do it for you. This version is free. We do have a premium subscription, $30 a month. Go to www.atipromedia.com and get subscribed. If you want to see any of those past episodes, I think it's neat for someone to subscribe today and say, I want to see what Brady and Connor and Brian talked about. And now that we know this reaction, see if you guys are anywhere even close to what can happen. The big volatility of that number did not happen on the bean range. Pretty much came out of nothing burger. Beans are up 7. Corn only down 3. You know who has 2 thumbs and bought the dip? This guy. All right.
All right.
Futures and options have risk, but you guys don't need to be buying the dip because you're already caught long. What can we do to help you get uncaught long or lay off some risk? You guys have a plan for that. Beans on the high. Watch out for stops above 10.10. Let's bring in that quote board real quick. We'll update these markets. And we have a market here, folks.
Get that question out of there. Yeah.
Beans, corn only down 1, going to unchanged. Beans up 9.5. Corn was down 7. We had a low of 3.97. We didn't stay that long. Count it on your fingers. Almost have to take your shoes off. We're 7-8 cents off the low here in corn. Beans, nice impressive rally. There we are above that 10.10 stops hit. It's almost like I know what I'm doing, guys. Not my first rodeo. I love the price action of beans. Folks, if you're out there, questions, comments, drop them. Where are you from? How do yields look? Don't worry. We won't tell anyone.
We'll talk, Luke. Pull that off real quick, because when we're looking at this price action, it's amazing how fast the trade can move on, right? Once we have the numbers, they're digested. I feel like we've already moved on. Right now, it's time to talk about how is this crop going to finish, looking at weather. And so when we can take some bearish news, digest it, and still hold in there, it's a good sign, right? If we can take some bearish numbers and roll with it. All right, let's get to Luke's question.
Yes, sir.
Plenty of soda can and mini soda can ears of corn down in North Carolina. I'm surprised with how little traffic is at the elevator. Usually a 30 to 60 minute wait this time of year. Not good. Only comment, and I'll let you guys answer. My gosh, if we had a 30, 60 minute wait in a Central Illinois elevator, they'd be fired in the next harvest, I think.
Yeah, when I hear that, I think, you got Ohio with the crop problem potentially, or maybe not as big of a crop. You got North Carolina with some drought and, the Eastern belt. What type of basis ramifications and pull is that going to take to get, the corn board is an export board, right? We're off the river. So the basis might have to do some work to move bushels from the Midwest out to the East Coast, Luke. Luke, you asked specifically, sent a text and asked specifically what happened in cotton, and I want to address that real quick. 4.5 million bale ending stocks last month. They trimmed that back to 4, so kind of a supportive adjustment on cotton ending stocks there for you, Luke.
Yeah, we always cotton something we get. Guys, we got a market here. We got soybeans up 16. We got corn up 2. Corn solidly, ring the bell, 11 cents off the lows. Phenomenal price action.
Yep.
We had, yes, sir.
I would say soybeans is a leader, right, Tommy? I mean, that's the one we had. Is it safe to say, was it semi-bullish report, or was it more just a neutral report?
It'd be interesting to see how the Michael Reginelli and the gang, or whoever's on today's episode, digest that, because there's things we see. Obviously, we all got to witness live the initial reaction. Okay, we see that, and then we get to see corn like, what? We're down 7, right? But when beans stopped going down and corn went down 5, 6, 7, and beans are like, no, I'm good, bro. I'm staying up 3. That was like a little tell there. Now we know the funds are heavily short beans, and I think those people I told you guys live on the show, we take out today's high 0910. We're going to hit some stops. We went up to 1017. This is just old pit trader stuff. We know that we have a range. If we break out, people tend to go with it. If you were a bear and you're like, when beans are down 25 today, I'm going to cover some of my shorts, you're not having a good day, which is a great day for the farmer. What do you guys think?
Go ahead,
Go
Brady.
ahead, Connor.
Not everyone at once.
Yeah, well said. We got corn turning down a little bit here. Let's pop this question up here. Grow the Farm Up's comment. I remember last year with the generational drought in the Midwest, especially Southeast Nebraska, we went 108 days with no moisture after planting. Rough. Good luck, man. Very tough in Southeast Nebraska. Generational drought. The funny thing about that, I don't know if it's funny, but all we can do is laugh, is if that was a generational drought, we had a record corn yield. What do you call this year then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Extremes in weather in different
science.
pockets, right? We got extremes in weather in different pockets across the country. Too wet in areas and too dry in others, and boy, it can be tough to get through that at times.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't it
here,
amazing, guys, real quick. Sorry to interrupt.
Go,
That
Tommy.
we have this big of a crop, and soybeans were able to trade up 15. Now we're only up 10. Corn's up down 2. This is good price action. This is good price action. Buyers and sellers are arguing. They're duking it out. Brady, let's go to cattle real quick. We have an impressive day in cattle. Live cattle up 120 a knock. Feeder cattle up 230.
Yeah.
What are guys asking about? What are guys talking about?
Well, the most exciting thing I think in cattle is, some of these calf prices for stockers that are running on wheat. They're growing them, buying 4 or 5 weights and going to grow them to 8, 9 weights. Those guys, we've seen that cash on that type of calf fall back a little bit and maybe present some opportunities to go out there and get some calves bought and put some gain on, do what they do. But we're going out and covering them up and getting some floors underneath them out there to protect, just in case it doesn't last as long as we think it should. But October's at 239, 240, and the index is at 243. So we're still at a discount to the index on the feeder cattle side of things. So this board's still got some work to do to catch up to where the cash market's at, and funds are discounting. They don't want to be in cattle right now, and I think we're seeing that. If they decide they want to look out to the upside, they can get long this market and move it in a hurry. But your risk is lower, and the Cowboys' risk is lower, so we want to defend against that. We just don't want to box ourselves out of opportunity down the road. So that's my gist.
LRP, Cowboy.
Yeah, LRP, great foundational risk management product, doing lots of that for guys. If you're interested in it, want to know how it works, want to know how we pair it with options to really avoid the timing aspect of it, get you in, get you covered so that you're not a day late and $1 short, get you covered up, and then manage it with your hedge account as the market moves to embrace volatility. Let's talk about that. We'll teach you something new, maybe an angle you haven't looked at it from before.
Rapid fire round. You never know what's going to happen with Tommy G, but I got something for you. We're going to move Brady up top, Tommy G down below. Bull bear debate. Corn, go boys.
Bull bear debate.
Which one you taking, Brady? The floor is yours. You talk whatever point, and I'll go the other.
I'm like that elevator manager. I can't pick a side, Connor. I don't want to pick a side, but if I want to make a farmer friend, I'm going to pick the bull side.
All right,
here
the bull bear debate, Brady. This is how we do it. You got to pick a side and talk that position, right?
All
so
right,
you're the grain bull. Give us your soybean bull.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, the soybeans, is that what we're on, Connor? I'm catching up here. Soybeans.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Well, we had poor finishing weather in August. I think there's a lot of uncertainty in South America with the dryness, the planting of the crop. And I think China's going to come to the table, keep buying some more. And I'm excited about we've got the bushels, and I think South America might have a problem on their hands going forward. And we got the bushels, and they're going to come to our door. And especially up in Tommy's world with the PNW, we're going to ship them out that way. And we're in a great position to see this thing rally and run higher. What's the bearish side? What am I missing, Connor?
The bearish side is that we're still at a record soybean yield, right? A lot of talk. They are having weather issues in South America, but if they get this crop planted, the talk is the economics aren't there for corn planting. Argentina and a little bit of Brazil saw that leafhoppers disease in the corn crop. That kind of equals more soybean acres. So if we don't get the exports to China, right, we see our record yields come to fruition in the United States. Then with even a good bean crop in South America, we've got enough beans, and I don't know if they need to have a 10 in front of it. That's my bear debate.
Well, that's if you believe the numbers, and these numbers are wrong. It's an election year, and we're rigging this thing, Connor.
Real quick.
We got breaking news.
Go, Tommy. Give it to
Beans only up 2. You had to be Jimmy John's fast. You had to be Jimmy John's fast to sell them at 10.15. We hit stops above the day's highs. We're going back towards orange corn down 5. Incredible price action here. I have to say, guys, I feel like Joe Rogan when he's at a UFC fight. Like, oh, did you see that? Remember that famous Joe Rogan? This is good price
Yeah.
action. This really is.
We thought the Bears were down for the count, and here they come back with a vengeance, trying to
What's-
sell this thing off.
What's
Yeah,
funny is grow the farm up's market manager, right? Well, turns out in the past 10 minutes, he's right. It went up, it went down, it kind of stayed the same, and then it didn't. So
Where's that guy's subscription? I want to buy that.
You know what I like about today's price action is there was something for everyone. If you were bullish, bearish, this, that, if you had your orders in there, expectations, we texted people and emailed before, hey, if you get a chance to sell soybeans up 10, 20, 30, do it. We got halfway there, up 15. Folks who are growing grain, the harvest is going to happen. My fear is now that we stay again. We've had incredibly tight corn ranges throughout the day. I remember watching a friend of mine. He was on RFD TV, and Scott goes, "Corn well off the highs." It was 2 cents off the highs. I mean, even the people in the media business are getting dramatic. Corn goes from up 2 to down 2, and they're like, "Corn's well off the highs." It's only moved 4 cents, but they have a 409 to 397. That's decent, 12-cent range there. Beans. 997 to 1017, a 20-cent move in November beans within the quarter cent. Closing thoughts, guys. What do we have coming up here? Oh, someone's got their A game out. What's this?
Mangold flashed us this from this is looking at the state yield adjustments here. And one thing that stands out to me, 212, that's the red. The red is September numbers from USDA, and the blue is
Go full screen on that,
August.
please. Give it all we got. Full screen.
The blue is August, and green is actually the record. So 212 corn yield in Iowa versus 209 last month, 222 in Illinois versus 225.
So they dropped it slightly in Illinois, but my gosh, that 225, and we've got good corn in Illinois. Do not get me wrong. That is a healthy number. We've got to have good yields across the state to hit that. It looks like they're dropping it ever so slightly, right? The 222. 10 bushel above the record yield in Illinois.
Boy, if you want to be mad at someone, call an Iowa farmer and yell at them for being awesome at their job, huh? Look at those yields.
Yep.
Remember I said North Dakota's in good shape? Looks like they raised that a couple from last time, right? SEP up to 146 in corn, coming in nicely there. Ohio, we went from 198 to 188 to 187. I think that'll continue to drop here. It wouldn't be an understatement of the world to say the USDA could be behind. I mean, we are talking to hundreds of clients daily, and they collect data different. Now, America's a big place, and we may just be talking to a certain little group. But have we seen our highest yield in corn? We're going to see. Is this going to get bigger in a January number?
Right. Time will tell. I think that, speaking of North Dakota, was that 158 record? Was that last year, Tommy?
Yeah, they had a whopper up here,
an
absolute whopper. And that's the problem with the basis up here, the cash market. There are still a lot of people, they're not going to appreciate me saying this, but there are still a lot of people who are holding old crop corn in the Dakotas and even Minnesota. And that really comes from all that profits that were made during the run up there in 2022 on the Ukraine war and whatnot. So much money was made up here because every crop we grow up here, they also kind of grow in the Ukraine, the sunflowers, the canola, all those things hit. Continuing on with this, beans.
Looking at there, we got red again, September adjustment from the WASD, and then the blue is the August, and then green is the record. So Iowa, similar tone, going from 61 to 63 for the state bean yield adjustment from today's WASD report. Looking at Illinois, 66 down to 65. Nebraska unchanged. Dakota's unchanged in South Dakota, but up 2 in North Dakota.
You know what, when I look at these numbers, guys, and I don't see a whole lot of change on the soybean yield, it feels like the USDA, they didn't want to make any big decisions based on August weather for the September WASD, right? They wanted to wait and see. And I feel like we see that. Not, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see any big changes in yield from August to September looking at the soybean yield. And I guess that reiterates it because they didn't change overall yield either.
Yep. But some minor under the surface tweaks that maybe give you an indication of what could come down the road. Is which state's getting bigger, which state's getting a little smaller. And to that, the basis ramifications and cash market record, implications from that change.
Real quick, guys, if you're out there and you're listening, Tom Grisafi, I'm up in North Dakota, Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas, Connor B. out in Assumption, Illinois. We'd love to give you a free flag. Email us, call us, info@ATI Pro Media. Call us 1-855-737 Farm, I believe is our number. It's been a while since I read it. If you're interested in subscribing for premium, we'd love to have you. We'll send you past episodes. We'll send you current episodes. It's going to be hard to put out a premium today with the price action we just seen. But if markets change a lot between now and the close, I think that would be an easy subject to talk about. One of the things we do need to talk about with both advanced trading clients and premium clients is we may have a problem now in corn. That now that we have a yield like this, we got to be thinking about 2025. We have to be catching these carries. As you know, I did that video last week on premium and this let's run the futures and options at risk part because we talked about selling March and May calls. Had someone say, why aren't you selling March and May calls? I said, you want to sell March and May calls? Send me some money. I'll sell as many March and May calls as you can handle. But you'll never make more than 20 cents on this particular call, and you may lose $1.20, $2.20, $3.20. So we know what we can make, but if you want to catch that carry, still, folks, look out into the March and the May. D's corn trading $4, down 3.5. March corn trading $4.20. May corn trading $4.30. That May corn got up to like $4.45, $4.46, had target orders in at $4.50, $4.60, didn't hit them. Now we slide back down 20 cents, and that's just in the last week. You need to capture that price action when we have it.
And
we are
when
in a
you
bear
see-
market. We
and
are in
when-
a bear market in corn.
And when you see that carry, you and Dave Lechtenberg did a great job of showing this.
Mostly Dave,
we,
but sure.
We got to sell that carry to lock it in, right? If I'm staring at March, it's hanging out there at 419.5, right? If we're sticking grain in the bin, we should have that target in if we want to sell some March corn.
Yeah.
Real quick. Go ahead, Brady. Go.
I would add on the corn front in the bear market talk that, the funds have they've covered half of their short position since July. We've let them sneak out of that short position, which was a 1.8 billion bushel short position when you add it up. And now it's a, 900 million bushel short position. They are loaded down where they can come in and hammer this thing if they want to again and send it much lower back to that record short. That's the watch out if I'm a farmer.
Look, that's the color of that. We talked about that on the panel at the Red River Farm Network meeting, and the farmer, that was the tell right there. When SEP corn went to 360 in the lower 360s and the funds covered shorts, that was the ultimate farmer puke. Take it to a while ago when I said I was out with someone from Farm Credit. They said a lot of farmers had corn on their balance sheet. They said it's worth $550. That was the 350 cash sale. The farmer puking that corn. They held out for less. In what interest rates are now at 20, 30-year highs, not only did they lose on the cost of money, they lost on the physical commodity. So on a day like today, when I'm screaming at top of my youngs, gold's at all-time highs, and you see corn down 4, the yellow commodities are doing different things. Back to you guys.
Yeah, don't puke in February and March. That's my message here, the takeaway. We just saw it. We saw it in the 23 crop. Don't let that happen with the 24 crop. Do something different this year.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things happen.
Control. You want me to run down the numbers real quick? We got more people jumping
that'd be
on.
great. We have time.
So recap of the WASDE, corn production 15.1 versus estimate of 15.15, real right in line. Corn yield is probably going to be the story. They raised it ever so slightly from a 183.1 to 183.6. Looking at soybeans, right, neutral ending stocks number slightly reduced 458. Yield decreased didn't change at all. I'm sorry, a little bit below analyst estimates, 53.2. Wheat numbers almost completely unchanged, very neutral on wheat. And then going down to the other thing I'll talk about, South America, they didn't change any numbers there at all. So overall, when you look at it, pretty, just looking at the numbers, not the price action, a decently neutral, maybe we'll say a touch bearish USDA report.
Which it could have been a lot worse, right?
Yep.
It could have
Absolutely.
been a lot worse. Closing comments, guys. Thanks for joining us. We have a few more minutes. Actually, we got all day. Phones are quiet. Some people, it's not like we got to take a commercial break. I feel like I'm hosting RFD. We'll be back in a second. Hey, we are sponsored and owned by Advanced Trading. This is ATI Pro Media. Questions, comments, drop them here. It's the ATI Pro Media Group. We got some new things like talk about starting next week. Guys, people will be able to get a meeting with us. So if they want a half-hour meeting with Tom Grisafi or Brady or Connor or Joe, the ATI Pro Media crew, we got some software that we're going to put out there, link it to our videos. We have someone from the commercial department who said, hey, if there's someone out in commercial land and they want a free half-hour consultation with someone from advanced trading, we could do that. But from the ATI Pro Media crew, we know you need help. The markets say you need help. And so we're going to start dropping those links where you can get a hold of us. And you just be able to click and say, Tommy, I want to meet for a half hour. Be like, just going like to the dentist or the eye doctor. I'll have which half hours I have open. Because with this new world virtually, we can meet really quickly and not have to shake hands. We'll shake hands eventually. I saw over 12 clients yesterday at Big Iron. We'll get to you all eventually. This is a business done by people with people. But if you have an immediate need, call us 1-855-737-FARM or email us info@ATI Pro Media. We can get a lot done. Speaking of getting a lot done, if you need a speaker or someone for your winter meetings, I'm starting to get calls. We got a calendar for that too. If you want someone from the crew to come out, you got Brady out west. You got me. I'll go anywhere. You got Connor. He's in Central Illinois. And like I said, I just bought a new camper, and I want to come see you. I want to pull up in the camper.
We don't have
podcast.
time. We can't talk about the new truck debate. We'd be on here for another 20
Oh
minutes.
no, real quick. we went off the rails the other day. Look, we're in the truck market, Ford, Chevy, or Dodge, but no, we don't want to go down that. Hey, we got to talk politics real quick. We had a debate the other day.
Here we go.
And the market seemed to be digesting all that. So we had some extreme action in the Dow Jones yesterday, down 700, up, extreme price action. But if you didn't know there was a debate and you didn't know there was an election, the only thing you'd know is you're mad at the price of corn and you're okay with your 401k. And trust me, folks, when it comes to America, 99% of the people want affordable fuel. 99% of the people want affordable food. And on this one, we finally got to the point where the world has produced too much stuff. Now, here's the problem for you all. Your cost is still high. I know there's all those people out there who say you got to know your cost production when we get to a profit or break even sell. I'm not so sure you're going to get that choice in 2025. What I told the people at the meeting at the Red River Farm Network was on down years, if you can lose less than your neighbor, you'll be buying your neighbor's ground in 5 or 10 years. Remember that. You may think I'm being sarcastic, but the market does not guarantee a profit. And in 21, 22, and 23, it threw you some extreme profits. The market gave you too much money. It wants it back. The market's getting that money back through interest rates and the lower price of commodity. That right there is a cancer, and we need to make it stop. Get in control. If you need help, reach out. I'm serious about this one.
There's nothing more that needs to be said there, Tommy. That's an important message. And it's
Right.
if there's
Let's
a
run
time
commercial about ATI Pro Media, and we'll mic drop this. Hey, 750 people watching. Thanks. You need a flag. You need an appointment, half-hour consultation with someone from the ATI Pro Media crew. Give us a call, email us, text, premium content. Jojo, Rick, run the ad, and then I'll get us out of here. Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. All right, top
Good
right,
stuff.
Brady Huck, Connor B. Top left, Assumption, Illinois, Tommy G, Fargo, North Dakota. I'm going to throw up a QR code, folks. If you need to get a hold of us, this is one way to do it. From our family to yours, safe harvest. We'll see you soon.
See you, everyone.
Just stay right there. Fellas, great job as always. Thanks, everyone, for joining ATI Pro Media. We go live every day at 9. This QR code is for the contact information to get a hold of us. We'll see you all tomorrow at 9. Don't forget to tune in to that extra special roundtable about 1:30, 1:45 today when the boys from Bloomington really break down the numbers. Have a good night.